This is a fictional story. It contains sensitive themes like child loss, grief, and betrayal. Please listen with care. Now, listen closely. They say grief comes in waves, but mine came like a flood. A violent, all-consuming surge that never receded, just settled in my lungs like water, stealing breath day by day. The morning we buried Liam, I stood over that impossibly small white coffin with a single blue sock clutched in my fist, his favorite. The other one had vanished in the hospital somewhere, like him. My arms felt hollow. My chest felt cracked open, raw. That was my baby, my only child. SIDS, they said. Sudden infant death syndrome. No fever, no signs, no warnings, no goodbyes, just silence. I made it through the service with a face I didn't recognize. I shook hands, nodded at strangers who offered empty prayers through tight throats. But after the last hymn faded and everyone drifted into the parking lot, I went back inside the church to grab my purse and walked straight into hell. There he was, my husband, lips pressed to a woman I didn't know. Her lipstick was smeared across his mouth like blood. His hands gripped her waist. They didn't even flinch when they saw me. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just stood there, silent. He turned like I was the one intruding. His eyes were sharp, cold. Not the man I married, not the man who once kissed our son's forehead in the hospital and whispered, "I'll protect you both."
"You brought this on yourself," he said. "You were always too much, too emotional, too obsessed with that baby. He's dead now, and the only reason I stayed this long was because of him."
That moment broke something inside me, something I didn't know could still break. I walked out, left my car, my coat, my name. I walked until I couldn't feel the sidewalk beneath my feet. The world moved on around me. Coffee shops, mothers pushing strollers, kids spilling ice cream down their shirts, while I drifted like a ghost, tethered to a memory that wouldn't die. And then I heard it. A cry, high, shrill, desperate. A baby! I turned. It was coming from a fire station. I don't remember crossing the street. I just remember the sound, like Liam's cry, only younger, newer. When I stepped closer, I saw a firefighter in his 30s, pacing with a tiny infant in his arms, trying to rock him gently, bouncing slightly on the balls of his feet. "Is everything okay?" I asked, my voice foreign to me. The firefighter turned, startled. His name tag read Eli. He looked tired and overwhelmed. Then he looked at the baby. "Someone left him in the safe haven box. He won't stop crying. We tried formula, but nothing works." The baby's arms flailed, and then he reached toward me. My body moved before my mind caught up. I took him gently. He was warm, tiny, hungry. I whispered, "It's okay, little one." And he quieted in my arms, then turned toward my chest almost instantly, his rooting instinct clear. "I think he's hungry," I said, glancing down. "Would you mind if I tried to feed him?" Eli blinked. "You're not on anything? No drugs or—" I shook my head. "I'm clean. I don't even drink. My ex used to call me boring." Eli didn't stop me. Instead, he handed me a clean muslin cloth, his silence wrapped in understanding. I held the baby close, and he latched instantly, like he knew me, like I was meant to find him. For the first time since Liam died, the world went still. When he was done, he let out a small sigh and collapsed into sleep. I looked up, tears sliding silently down my cheeks. "Does he have a name?" Eli shook his head. "Just baby boy on the form." "I'll call him Moses," I said, voice trembling, "because he was drawn from the fire." I came back the next day, then the next, morning and night, like prayer. I changed his diapers, rocked him to sleep, sang lullabies I thought I'd buried with Liam. The firefighters started calling me Mama M. Eli became something more, quiet, steady, always nearby with tea, a blanket, or just presence. I caught him watching me sometimes with a tenderness I didn't know how to receive, and just as I began to feel the faintest flicker of hope, social services stepped in. They were polite, but cold. "You're a grieving single woman," one said. "No stable income. You couldn't protect your own child. Why should we trust you with this one?" Their words knocked the breath out of me, but I didn't run this time. I fought. I gathered letters. The firefighters testified. Eli wrote a statement so kind it made me sob in the bathroom, but then my ex reappeared, like poison in water. He called CPS and spun his web, claimed I had postpartum psychosis, showed screenshots of my grief posts, twisted them, called me dangerous, claimed I was manipulating Moses and seducing Eli. But I stood in court and spoke the truth. "He was kissing another woman on the day we buried our son," I said, my voice trembling. "I didn't cheat. I survived." You could hear a pin drop. I should have been safe after that. But grief has teeth. At a birthday event hosted at the firehouse, Moses somehow ate something with peanuts. He was allergic. His tiny face swelled. His breath faltered. Eli performed CPR, eyes wild with fear. Paramedics arrived. Everyone thought I had failed him, but security footage told a different story. A man in a hoodie, lingering near the snack table, smirking, placing food too close. My ex. He was arrested that night. The footage clearly showed him loitering near the snack table, hood pulled low, watching Moses with that cold, calculating smirk I knew too well. But because it didn't show him placing the peanut-laced cookie in Moses's hand, the prosecutor said they couldn't prove intent, just suspicious behavior. He posted bail the next morning, walked out like nothing happened. He was facing charges, reckless endangerment at the very least. But the wheels of justice turned slow, too slow. And for a while I had to live with the horror that he was still out there, breathing free, while Moses nearly died. CPS almost took him that night, almost ripped him from my arms while he was still wheezing, bruised from the EpiPen. I cried for hours, days, but I refused to let go. I cleaned up my life, therapy, work, court classes, everything they asked, I did twice over. And Eli never left. He was the hands that steadied me, the quiet voice that reminded me I was still alive. Then came the final custody hearing. My ex, arrogant and unrepentant, claimed I was still breastfeeding to control Moses, accused me of trapping Eli, said I was emotionally manipulative. The judge barely looked at him. Instead, she turned to the firefighters. One by one, they described the bond I had with Moses, the way he smiled when I walked in, the way he reached for me when afraid, how he slept best in my arms. Then Eli stood. "She didn't trap me," he said. "She saved me, and she saved that boy. She is the most capable, resilient, loving person I've ever known." Silence. The judge nodded slowly, then looked at me. "You've been through hell," she said, "but you didn't break. You became a mother through grief, and now you've shown us what love looks like." She granted me full custody. I broke. Eli caught me. Some of the firefighters cried too. 2 months later, a knock on the door changed everything. A pale woman stood there, trembling, red-rimmed eyes. Behind her, a tall man with a weathered duffel bag. "My name is Layla," she said. I think I'm Moses's birth mother." The air vanished.
If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a tale that might just change your life. Join us next time for more powerful African folk tales, where every story holds a hidden truth.